The room went silent. Everyone stared at Maya as she stood on her tiptoes and pressed her lips against Vincent Moretti's mouth. Right in front of his fiancée, Isabella. Isabella's champagne glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the marble floor. The sound echoed through the ballroom like a gunshot. Vincent's dark eyes widened in shock. His bodyguards reached for their weapons. Guests gasped and whispered. Some stepped back, afraid of what would happen next. But Maya didn't pull away. Not yet, because hidden in that kiss was a folded piece of paper she had just slipped from Vincent's jacket pocket into her own mouth. A paper that held a terrible secret. A kill order with her sister's name on it. And now, she had exactly 3 seconds before Vincent's men would grab her and drag her away, or worse. Drop a comment below and tell us, where are you watching from? We love hearing from you. The beginning. Let's go back to where it all started. 3 days before that shocking kiss, Maya Rodriguez was not the kind of girl who went to fancy parties. She worked at a small bakery on the edge of the city, making bread every morning at 4 a.m. Her hands were always covered in flour, and she smelled like cinnamon and sugar. She lived in a tiny apartment with her older sister, Rosa. Rosa was everything Maya wasn't. Beautiful, confident, and always dressed in expensive clothes. Rosa worked as a waitress in an upscale restaurant, but Maya always wondered how her sister could afford designer handbags and diamond earrings on a waitress's salary. Where do you get all this money? Maya asked one evening as Rosa tried on a new red dress. Rosa just smiled. I have friends who take care of me. Maya didn't like that answer. It made her stomach twist with worry. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She heard Rosa talking on the phone in the next room. The walls were thin, so Maya could hear every word. I can't do any more, Rosa whispered into the phone. I want out. I don't care what he says. I'm done. Silence. Then Rosa's voice cracked with fear. You don't understand. If I stay, he'll owe me forever. I have to disappear. Tonight, Maya's heart started pounding. Who was Rosa talking to? What did she want out of? She heard Rosa hang up. Then she heard her sister crying. Soft, scared sob that made Maya's chest hurt. Maya wanted to go comfort her, but something stopped her. Instead, she stayed in her room, listening and worrying. An hour later, Rosa left the apartment. Maya heard the door close quietly. Maya waited 5 minutes, then grabbed her jacket and followed her sister into the night. The city looked different at midnight. Dark, dangerous. Maya had never been out this late alone. She followed Rosa from a distance, hiding behind cars and walls. Rosa walked quickly, looking over her shoulder every few seconds like she thought someone was following her. Rosa turned down a narrow alley between 2 old buildings. Maya hesitated. Her mother had always told her, never go into dark alleys at night. But this was her sister. So Maya took a deep breath and followed. The alley smelled like garbage and old rain. Maya's footsteps echoed off the brick walls. Halfway down, she saw Rosa standing under a flickering streetlight, talking to a man. The man was tall and wore an expensive suit. Even in the shadows, Maya could tell he was dangerous. He moved like a predator, smooth and controlled. Maya ducked behind a dumpster and listened. Please, Vincent, Rosa begged. Let me go. I've done everything you asked. I've kept all your secrets. Just let me leave the city. Vincent. Maya knew that name. Everyone in the city knew that name. Vincent Moretti, the youngest son of the Moretti crime family. Rich, powerful, deadly, and apparently Rosa knew him very well. Vincent's voice was cold and calm. You think you can just walk away? After everything you've seen? Everything you know? I won't tell anyone anything, Rosa promised. I swear on my life. Vincent laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Your life? Rosa, your life stopped belonging to you the moment you accepted my money. Maya's blood ran cold. Please, Rosa whispered. I have a sister. She doesn't know anything about this. If something happens to me, then she'll never know why, Vincent interrupted. And trust me, Rosa, something's going to happen to you. Very soon. Rosa started crying again. When? 2 days. My engagement party. You'll come as a guest, smile for the cameras, and then you'll disappear permanently. My men have already made the arrangements. Maya's hand shook. She couldn't breathe. They were going to kill her sister in 2 days. Rosa fell to her knees. Vincent, please. I'm begging you. Begging doesn't work on me, Vincent said. He turned and walked away, his expensive shoes clicking on the wet pavement. Rosa stayed on her knees, sobbing. Maya wanted to run to her sister, to hug her, to tell her everything would be okay, but her feet wouldn't move. Her whole body was frozen with fear. After a few minutes, Rosa stood up, wiped her tears, and walked out of the alley in the opposite direction. Maya stayed hidden behind the dumpster for a long time, her mind racing. Her sister was going to die in 2 days. Unless Maya did something to stop it. Maya didn't sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table, drinking coffee and thinking. She couldn't go to the police. The Moretti family owned half the cops in the city. They'd probably just tell Vincent that someone was asking questions, and then both Maya and Rosa would end up dead. She couldn't tell Rosa she knew. Rosa would panic, maybe run, and Vincent's men would find her even faster. No, Maya had to do something herself. But what could a baker do against a mafia boss? She spent all of the next day researching Vincent Moretti on the internet. She learned that he was engaged to Isabella Crane, the daughter of a wealthy businessman. Their engagement party was happening tomorrow night at the Grand Hotel, the fanciest place in the city. She learned that Vincent never went anywhere without bodyguards, that he was smart, careful, and ruthless, that people who crossed him simply vanished. She also learned something interesting. Vincent always kept his most important documents in the inside pocket of his jacket. One article mentioned how he didn't trust computers or phones for his really secret business. He wrote everything down on paper. Maybe, just maybe, the kill order for Rosa was in that pocket. If Maya could get that paper, she could have proof. She could use it as leverage. She could force Vincent to let Rosa go. But how could she get close enough to Vincent to steal from his pocket? That night, Maya did something crazy. She called the Grand Hotel pretending to be Isabella Crane's assistant. She said there had been a mistake with the guest list, and one more name needed to be added, Maya Rodriguez. The hotel worker didn't question it. Rich people change their minds all the time. Just like that, Maya had an invitation to Vincent Moretti's engagement party. The Grand Hotel was more beautiful than anything Maya had ever seen. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, women in diamond necklaces, men in tuxedos. Maya wore the only nice dress she owned, a simple black one she bought at a thrift store for her high school graduation. Next to all these wealthy people, she felt like a mouse at a cat convention, but she kept her head high and walked into the ballroom. The room was packed with people drinking champagne and laughing. A live orchestra played soft music. In the center of it all stood Vincent Moretti and his fiancée, Isabella. Vincent was handsome in a dangerous way. Dark hair, sharp jawline, eyes that missed nothing. He wore a perfectly tailored black suit with a red tie. Isabella was stunning, tall, blonde, with a smile that looked painted on. She held Vincent's arm and posed for photos, but Maya noticed Isabella's smile never reached her eyes. Maya grabbed a glass of champagne from a passing waiter and pretended to sip it. She needed to look like she belonged here. She watched Vincent carefully, studying his movements. His bodyguard stood at every exit. 2 more stood just a few feet behind him. Getting close to him would be almost impossible. Almost. Then Maya noticed something. Every 20 minutes or so, Vincent would step away from Isabella and walk to a quiet corner to make a phone call. And when he did, his bodyguard stayed with Isabella, not with him. It was a tiny window of opportunity. Maybe 30 seconds when Vincent was alone. Maya waited, watched. Her heart pounded so hard she thought everyone could hear it. Finally, Vincent kissed Isabella's cheek and walked toward the corner again, phone in hand. This was it. Maya took a deep breath, set down her champagne glass, and started walking toward him. Her legs felt like jelly. Her hands shook, but she kept moving. Vincent had his back to her, phone pressed his ear, talking in Italian. Maya walked right up behind him, close enough to smell his expensive cologne. And then, Without thinking, without planning, she reached out and slipped her hand into his jacket pocket. Her fingers touched paper. She pulled it out, but Vincent felt the movement. He spun around, grabbing her wrist. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded. Maya's mind went blank with panic. The paper was in her hand. Vincent's eyes dropped to it. Recognition flashed across his face, and rage. His grip on her wrist tightened painfully. "Give that back. Now." People were starting to look. Isabella was walking over, confused. Maya had 1 second to make a choice. She could drop the paper and run. Maybe escape. Maybe not. Or she could do something so shocking that it would buy her time to escape. So Maya did the craziest thing she'd ever done in her life. She shoved the paper into her mouth, stood on her tiptoes, and kissed Vincent Moretti right on the lips. Maya's lips were pressed against Vincent's for only 2 seconds, but it felt like forever. In those 2 seconds, the entire ballroom seemed to freeze. The orchestra stopped playing mid-note. Conversations died. Every single person turned to stare. And Isabella, Vincent's fiancée, stood 10 feet away with her mouth hanging open in shock. Maya pulled back from the kiss, the paper now safely hidden under her tongue. Vincent's dark eyes blazed with fury. His hand was still gripping her wrist so tightly that her fingers were turning white. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life," Vincent whispered, his voice deadly calm. Before Maya could respond, Isabella's scream cut through the silence. "What is happening?" Isabella shrieked. Her face had turned bright red. She stormed toward them, her high heels clicking like gunshots on the marble floor. "Who is this girl?" Vincent's bodyguards surrounded them instantly. Big men in black suits with cold eyes and bulging jackets where Maya knew they hid their guns. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs. She thought the kiss would create confusion. Enough chaos for her to slip away. But now she was trapped in a circle of dangerous men, with an angry fiancé screaming at her and a mafia boss who looked like he wanted to strangle her with his bare hands. "Answer me, Vincent," Isabella demanded, her voice shrill. "Who is she? Why did she just kiss you?" Vincent finally released Maya's wrist. He smoothed down his jacket and put on a calm smile, though his eyes remained ice cold. "I have no idea who she is," Vincent said smoothly. "Some crazy woman. Security. Remove her immediately." 2 bodyguards stepped forward to grab Maya's arms. Panic shot through her body. If they took her away, they'd search her. They'd find the paper. They'd know she'd stolen Vincent's kill order for Rosa. And then both she and her sister would be dead. Maya did the only thing she could think of. She started crying. Loud, dramatic sobs. "I'm sorry," she wailed, making her voice shake. "I'm so sorry. I just love you so much, Vincent. I've loved you for years." The bodyguards paused. Some guests gasped. Others whispered. Isabella's eyes went wide. "What?" "I know it's wrong." Maya continued, forcing tears down her cheeks. "I know you're engaged, but I couldn't help myself. When I saw you tonight, looking so handsome, I lost control. Please forgive me." She was a terrible actress, but rich people always believed that poor people did crazy things for love. She'd seen it in 100 movies. Vincent stared at her like she'd grown a second head. Isabella looked between them, her face cycling through anger, confusion, and something else, suspicion. "You love him?" Isabella asked slowly. "Since I was 16, Maya lied, sobbing harder. I used to see him at the coffee shop on 5th Street. He never noticed me, but I noticed him. I dreamed about him every night. And when I heard about the engagement party, I had to see him one last time before he married someone else. It was complete nonsense. But sometimes nonsense worked better than the truth." Isabella turned to Vincent. "Is this true? Did you used to go to a coffee shop on 5th Street? Vincent's jaw tightened. "Years ago, maybe. I don't remember." "So you don't know her?" Isabella accused. "I don't," Vincent started. "First, you're always on your phone having secret conversations," Isabella interrupted, her voice rising. "Then you disappear for hours without explanation. And now some girl is kissing you at our engagement party and claiming she loves you." Isabella, be reasonable. 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 Isabella's voice echoed through the ballroom. I am done being reasonable. This engagement is over. She ripped the enormous diamond ring off her finger and threw it at Vincent's chest. It bounced off and clattered to the floor. Then Isabella spun around and stormed out of the ballroom, her mother and friends rushing after her. The guests exploded into excited chatter. Cameras flashed. Someone's phone was definitely recording. Maya stood very still, barely breathing. The paper was dissolving slightly under her tongue, turning into wet pulp. She needed to get out of here now before Vincent realized what she'd really stolen. But Vincent's bodyguards still surrounded her. Vincent bent down, picked up the ring, and slipped it into his pocket. Then he looked at Maya with an expression that made her blood turn to ice. "You," he said quietly. "Come with me. Now." Vincent's bodyguards marched Maya out of the ballroom and down a long hallway. She tried to pull away, but their grips were like iron. They pushed her into a small, elegant office and closed the door. Vincent walked in behind them, loosening his tie. "Search her," he ordered. "No." Maya backed away, but there was nowhere to go. "You can't." "I can do whatever I want," Vincent said coldly. "This is my hotel, my city, my world. You're just a stupid girl who made a very bad decision." One of the bodyguards stepped toward her. Maya's mind raced. The paper was still in her mouth, getting softer and mushier. If she tried to swallow it, she might choke. If she spit out, they'd see it. She needed a distraction. "Wait," she said quickly. "Just wait. I'll tell you everything. I'll explain why I kissed you." Vincent raised one hand, and the bodyguard stopped. "I'm listening." Maya took a shaky breath. She had to be smart. "Careful. My name is Maya Rodriguez," she began, which was true. "And I wasn't lying about loving you. Not completely." Vincent's eyebrow raised. "Go on." "But I didn't come here just because of love," Maya continued. "I came here because someone hired me." That got his attention. Vincent leaned against the desk, studying her. "Who?" "I don't know his name." Maya lied. "He called himself Mr. Black. He paid me $5,000 to embarrass you at your engagement party, to ruin your relationship with Isabella." Vincent's eyes narrowed. Why would someone want that? He said you had enemies, business rivals. He said if your engagement ended, it would make you look weak, unreliable. Maya was making this up as she went, but it sounded believable. "He told me to kiss you in front of everyone, make a scene, cause drama." Vincent was silent for a long moment, thinking. Maya could see his sharp mind working, analyzing her story for holes. Finally, he spoke. "What did this Mr. Black look like?" "Tall, gray hair, expensive suit. He wore sunglasses even though we met at night." Maya described a character from a movie she'd watched last week. Vincent turned to one of his bodyguards. "Carlo, does that sound like anyone we know?" Carlo shook his head. "Could be a lot of people, boss." Vincent turned back to Maya. "Where's the $5,000? "In my apartment, under my mattress." Another lie. "Address?" Maya gave him a fake address 3 blocks from where she really lived. Vincent pulled out his phone and sent a text. "My men will check. If you're lying, you'll regret it." Maya's stomach dropped. She hadn't thought that far ahead. "Empty your pockets," Vincent ordered. I don't have pockets," Maya said, gesturing to her simple dress. Which was true. The dress had no pockets. "Turn around." Maya slowly turned in a circle, showing she had nothing hidden on her body. The paper was still dissolving in her mouth. She could taste ink and bitter chemicals. Vincent studied her for a long moment. Then he sighed. "You're either the world's worst liar or the world's best actress," he said. "Either way, you've caused me a massive headache tonight." "I'm sorry," Maya whispered. "Sorry doesn't fix anything." Vincent walked closer to her, and Maya had to force herself not to back away. "Isabella's father is one of my biggest business partners. That engagement was worth millions of dollars, and you just destroyed it with one stupid kiss. Maybe you can apologize to her," Maya suggested weakly. Explain that I'm just crazy. Isabella doesn't forgive, Vincent interrupted. She's proud, stubborn. Once she makes up her mind, that's it. He smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile, which means someone just cost me a lot of money, and I always collect my debts. Fear shot through Maya's chest. What do you mean? I mean, little Maya Rodriguez, that you're going to work for me now until you've paid back every cent of what I lost tonight. Work for you? Maya's voice came out as a squeak. Doing what? Whatever I tell you to do, Vincent said simply. Starting tomorrow, you belong to me, just like... He stopped mid-sentence. His eyes went distant, like he was remembering something. Just like who? Maya asked before she could stop herself. Vincent's expression darkened. That's none of your business. Carlo, take her home. Watch her apartment tonight. Make sure she doesn't run. Tomorrow morning, bring her to the warehouse on Dock Street. Yes, boss, Carlo said. Wait, Maya said desperately. I have a job. A life. I can't just... You should have thought about that before you kissed me, Vincent said. He walked to the door and paused. Oh, and Maya, if you try to run, if you try to go to the police, if you even think about betraying me, I'll find you, and I'll make you wish you'd never been born. He left the office. The door clicked shut behind him. Carlo grabbed Maya's arm. Let's go. Carlo drove Maya home in a black SUV with tinted windows. He didn't talk, didn't even look at her, just drove in silence. Maya sat in the back seat, her mind spinning. She'd managed to avoid being searched, which was good. The paper was still in her mouth, though it was basically mush now. But everything else was a disaster. Vincent thought she worked for some mysterious enemy. He was going to make her work for him, doing who knows what. And his man was going to watch her apartment all night. When they reached Maya's building, Carlo walked her to her door. I'll be in my car, he said. Don't try anything stupid. Maya nodded and went inside. As soon as she closed the door, she ran to the bathroom and spit out the soggy paper. It was barely readable now, just wet, gray pulp with smeared ink, but she could still make out a few words. Rosa Rodriguez disposal, Saturday night permanent. Saturday night. That was tomorrow, less than 24 hours away. Maya's hand shook as she spread the paper out on the bathroom counter, trying to dry it, trying to make more words visible. But most of the ink had run together into illegible smudges. She'd risked everything to steal this paper, and now it was ruined. Maya wanted to scream, to cry, to punch something. But she didn't have time for any of that. She had to save Rosa, and she had less than a day to figure out how. Maya splashed cold water on her face and looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were red from fake crying. Her cheap dress was wrinkled. She looked like exactly what she was, a terrified girl in way over her head. But Rosa was her sister, her only family, and Maya would do anything to protect her. She grabbed her phone and sent Rosa a text. We need to talk. Emergency. Come home now. Then she sat on her bed and waited. Outside, in the black SUV, Carlo watched her window, and somewhere across the city, Vince Moretti poured himself a glass of whiskey and wondered who Maya Rodriguez really was, and why something about her felt strangely familiar. Tomorrow would bring answers. Tomorrow would bring danger. Tomorrow would change everything. Rosa didn't come home that night. Maya sent 15 text messages, called 20 times. Every call went straight to voicemail. By 3 a.m., Maya was pacing her tiny apartment like a caged animal. Through the window, she could see Carlo's black SUV still parked on the street below, waiting and watching. Where was Rosa? Was she already running? Hiding? Or had Vincent's men already found her? Maya's phone buzzed. Her heart jumped, but it wasn't Rosa. It was an unknown number. The text message read, Be ready at 8 a.m. Don't be late. V. Vincent. He was already giving her orders like she was his property. Maya threw her phone on the bed and pressed her palms against her eyes. Everything was falling apart. She tried to save her sister and instead made everything worse. At 6 a.m., Maya finally gave up on sleeping. She took a shower, got dressed, and made coffee with shaking hands. At 7:30 a.m., someone knocked on her door. Maya froze. It was too early for Carlo to pick her up. Had Vincent changed his mind? Sent someone to kill her instead? She crept to the door and looked through the peephole. It was Rosa. Maya yanked the door open and pulled her sister inside. "Where have you been? I've been calling you all night." Rosa looked terrible. Her makeup was smeared. Her fancy clothes were wrinkled. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. "I can't talk long," Rosa said quickly. "I just came to say goodbye." "Goodbye?" Maya's stomach dropped. "What do you mean goodbye?" "I'm leaving the city. Right now. I got a friend to drive me to the bus station. I'm going somewhere far away where Vincent can't find me." Rosa grabbed Maya's hands. "You need to forget about me, okay? Forget you ever had a sister. It's safer that way." "No," Maya said firmly. "You're not going anywhere." "Maya, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Maya pulled Rosa to the couch and sat her down. "I know about Vincent. I know he's planning to kill you. Tonight." Rosa's face went white. How? How do you know that?" Maya took a deep breath. "Because I stole the kill order from his pocket last night." For 5 seconds, Rosa just stared at her. Then she started laughing. A high, slightly hysterical laugh. "You did what?" Rosa gasped between laughs. "Maya, are you insane? Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I was trying to save you." "By stealing from Vincent Moretti?" Rosa stood up and started pacing. "Oh my God! Oh my God! We're both dead now. We're both completely dead." "We're not dead," Maya said, trying to sound confident. "I have a plan." "A plan? What plan?" Honestly, Maya didn't have a plan, but she couldn't tell Rosa that. "I'm going to work for Vincent," Maya said. "He thinks I'm just some crazy girl who kissed him because a rival hired me. He doesn't know about you. He doesn't know I'm your sister." Rosa stopped pacing. "Wait, he's making you work for him?" "Yes, as payment for ruining his engagement." Maya stood up and grabbed Rosa's shoulders. "So here's what we're going to do. You're going to stay here, in this apartment. Don't go outside. Don't answer the door. Don't contact anyone. I'll bring you food and everything you need." "For how long?" "Until I figure out a way to fix this," Maya said. "Maybe I can find information while working for Vincent. Maybe I can find leverage. Something to force him to leave you alone." Rosa shook her head. "That's not a plan, Maya. That's suicide." "It's better than running," Maya argued. "If you run, Vincent will hunt you down. You know he will. But if you hide here, if you disappear, maybe he'll think you already left the city. Maybe he'll stop looking." Rosa bit her lip, thinking, what about his man outside, the one watching? "He's watching for me, not you," Maya said. "He doesn't know what you look like. If you stay quiet and hidden." A car horn honked outside. 3 short blasts. Maya looked out the window. Carlo was standing beside his SUV, looking up at her apartment and tapping his watch. "I have to go," Maya said. She hugged Rosa tightly. "Please, trust me. Stay here and stay hidden." Rosa hugged her back, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry I got you into this mess." "We're sisters," Maya said. "We protect each other. Always." She grabbed her purse and ran out the door. Carlo didn't speak during the drive to Dock Street. The warehouse district was on the edge of the city where old factories and storage buildings slowly crumbled into rust and decay. Carlo parked in front of a large gray warehouse with broken windows and graffiti on the walls. It looked abandoned, but when Maya stepped inside, she realized it was anything but abandoned. The warehouse had been converted into something that looked like a mix between an office and a military base. Men in suits and casual clothes stood around talking, cleaning guns, counting money. Computer screens glowed in the dim light. Phones rang constantly. This was Vincent Moretti's real headquarters, where he ran his criminal empire. Maya's legs felt weak. She walked straight into the lion's den. Carlo led her through the warehouse to a glass-walled office at the back. Vincent sat behind a desk, typing on a laptop. He looked up when Maya entered. "You're on time," he said. "Good. I hate people who are late." "What What do you want to do? Maya asked, her voice small. Vincent closed his laptop and stood up. First, I need you to understand something. My men checked the address you gave me last night. Empty apartment. No money under the mattress. No sign anyone lives there. Maya's heart stopped. She'd been caught in her lie. So either you gave me a fake address, Vincent continued calmly, or this mysterious Mr. Black gave you a fake address. Either way, I don't like it. I must have remembered it wrong. Maya stammered. I was nervous. The address is actually... Stop, Vincent interrupted. I don't care anymore. I have a different problem now, and I think you might be useful for solving it. He walked around the desk and leaned against it, studying her. My fiancée, ex-fiancée now, thanks to you, was more than just a pretty face, Vincent explained. Isabella had connections, social connections. She could go to charity galas, country clubs, business dinners, places where people like me aren't exactly welcome. I don't understand, Maya said. I need someone who can blend in with high society, Vincent said. Someone innocent-looking. Someone no one would suspect works for me. Maya's eyes widened. You want me to spy for you? Exactly. Vincent smiled. See? You're smarter than you look. But I don't know anything about high society. I work in a bakery. I've never been to a country club in my life. You'll learn, Vincent said simply. Starting today, you're going to become someone new, someone elegant, someone who belongs in those places. He pressed a button on his desk. A door opened, and a tall woman with sharp features and perfectly styled hair walked in. She looked Maya up and down like she was examining a piece of garbage. This is Lucia, Vincent said. She's going to teach you everything. How to walk, talk, dress, eat. How to be a lady. Lucia's lip curled. This is what you wanted to work with? She looks like a street rat. Everyone starts somewhere, Vincent said. You have 1 week to transform her. 1 week? Lucia looked horrified. Impossible. Look at her posture. Her hair. Those clothes. This will take months. You have 1 week, Vincent repeated, his voice hardening. Or I'll find someone who can do it. Lucia's jaw tightened. Fine, but I want double my usual fee. Done. Vincent turned back to Maya. 1 week from today, there's a charity auction at the Metropolitan Club. Rich people gathering to donate money and feel good about themselves. I need you to attend, blend in, and gather information. What kind of information? Maya asked. There's a man named Thomas Blackwell. Businessman. Philanthropist. Pillar of the community. Vincent's voice dripped with contempt. He's also been stealing from me. Moving my shipments without permission. Taking a cut of my profits. Why don't you just confront him? Maya asked carefully. Vincent laughed. Because Thomas Blackwell is untouchable. Friend with the mayor, the police chief, half the judges in the city. If I move against him directly, I'll have the entire legal system on my back. He leaned closer. But if I had proof of his crimes, proof that could destroy his reputation, then I wouldn't need to touch him at all. The law would do it for me. And you want to get this proof? I want you to get close to him, earn his trust, find out where he keeps his records. Vincent's dark eyes bored into hers. Can you do that? Maya wanted to say no, wanted to run out of this warehouse and never look back. But she thought about Rosa hiding in the apartment, about the kill order that was supposed to be carried out tonight. If Maya could prove herself useful to Vincent, maybe he'd trust her more. Maybe she could find a way to erase that kill order. Maybe she could save her sister. I'll do it, Maya said quietly. Vincent smiled. Good. Lucia, she's all yours. The next 7 days were the hardest of Maya's life. Lucia was a nightmare. She criticized everything. How Maya walked like a duck, how she talked like a peasant, how she held a fork like a caveman. Every morning at 6 a.m., Lucia would pick Maya up and take her to a private studio. There, Maya would spend 12 hours learning things she'd never imagined she'd need to know. How to walk in high heels without wobbling. How to make small talk about art, wine, and politics. How to eat a 7-course meal without using the wrong fork. How to laugh delicately instead of her usual snort laugh. "Your hair is a disaster," Lucia declared on day 2, dragging Maya to an expensive salon. The stylist cut off 8 inches and dyed it a rich chocolate brown with subtle highlights. "Your wardrobe is trash," Lucia announced on day 3, taking Maya to boutiques where a single dress cost more than Maya made in a month. Vincent's credit card paid for everything. "Your manners are atrocious," Lucia snapped on day 4, making Maya practice introducing herself to imaginary people for 4 hours straight. At night, Maya would return to her apartment exhausted. Rosa was still there, hiding and scared. Maya would bring her food and updates, though there wasn't much to tell. Vincent's men are still looking for someone. Maya overheard on day 5 while passing a group of guards. "Boss wants the Rodriguez girl found before Saturday." Maya's blood ran cold. They were still hunting Rosa, which meant the kill order was still active. She had 2 days left to figure out how to save her sister. On day 6, Lucia made Maya attend a practice dinner with actual wealthy people, friends of Lucia's who agreed to test Maya's new skills. Maya was terrified, but she remembered everything Lucia taught her. She sat up straight, spoke clearly, laughed at appropriate times, and discussed the upcoming charity auction like she actually cared about it. When the dinner ended, one of the guests, an older woman dripping in pearls, pulled Lucia aside. "Where did you find her?" the woman asked. "She's absolutely charming." Lucia looked surprised. "She'll do, I suppose." But when they got back to the car, Lucia actually smiled at Maya. "You did well tonight. Better than I expected." It was the first compliment Lucia had ever given her. On day 7, the day of the auction, Lucia came to Maya's apartment with a garment bag and a makeup case. "This is it," Lucia said. "Tonight you either succeed or you fail. There's no in-between." She unzipped the garment bag to reveal a stunning emerald green evening gown with delicate beading that caught the light like stars. "Put it on," Lucia ordered. Maya slipped into the dress. It fit perfectly, hugging her curves in all the right places. Lucia did her makeup, dramatic but elegant, and styled her hair in soft waves. When Maya looked in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. The girl staring back looked sophisticated, confident, like someone who belonged at a charity auction with millionaires. "Remember," Lucia said as they prepared to leave, "you're not Maya Rodriguez, the baker. Tonight, you're Maya Sinclair, the niece of a wealthy investor. You're new in town. You're charming but mysterious. And most importantly, you're there to get close to Thomas Blackwell and find out where he keeps his records." Maya nodded, her stomach churning with nerves. A car horn honked outside. Carlo was waiting to drive her to the Metropolitan Club. Rosa hugged Maya tightly before she left. "Please be careful." "I will," Maya promised. She walked out of the apartment, climbed into Carlo's car, and rode toward the Metropolitan Club, toward Thomas Blackwell, toward a mission that could either save her sister or get them both killed. The car pulled up to the Metropolitan Club, a massive white building with marble columns and a red carpet leading to the entrance. Maya stepped out of the car. Cameras flashed. A doorman opened the door for her, and Maya walked inside, her heart pounding, ready to play the most dangerous role of her life. The Metropolitan Club was even more spectacular than the Grand Hotel. Crystal chandeliers the size of cars hung from the ceiling. Gold-framed paintings covered the walls. Women wore diamonds that could probably buy Maya's entire apartment building. Men in tuxedos laughed and shook hands, making deals worth millions of dollars. Maya felt like an imposter, like everyone could see through her expensive dress and perfect makeup to the scared baker underneath. But she kept her chin up and walked through a crowd exactly like Lucia had taught her, confident, elegant, like she belonged here. A waiter offered her champagne. She took a glass and pretended to sip it, scanning the room for Thomas Blackwell. "Excuse me," a smooth voice said behind her. "I don't believe we've met." Maya turned around and found herself face to face with a handsome man in his 50s. Silver hair, kind eyes, warm smile. He wore a perfectly tailored tuxedo and an expensive watch. "I'm Thomas Blackwell," he said, extending his hand. "And you are—" Maya's heart almost stopped. He had approached her. She didn't even have to seek him out. Maya Sinclair, she said, shaking his hand and giving him her practiced smile. I'm new in town. Well, welcome to our little city, Thomas said warmly. What brings you to our charity auction tonight? My uncle is an investor here, Maya lied smoothly, using the backstory Lucia had created. He couldn't attend, so he sent me in his place. He's very passionate about supporting the arts. How wonderful. We need more young people with such refined interests. Thomas gestured toward the auction items on display. Have you seen anything that catches your eye? Maya had studied the auction catalog that Lucia gave her. The Monet painting is lovely, though I'm more drawn to the vintage violin. Do you play? A little, Thomas admitted, though not as well as I'd like. Do you? I wish I did, Maya said. There's something so elegant about classical music, don't you think? They talked for 20 minutes about music, art, and the city. Thomas was charming and easy to talk to. He seemed genuinely kind, which made what Maya had to do even harder. You know, Thomas said, checking his watch, I have to give a speech in a few minutes, but I'd love to continue our conversation afterward. Would you join me for a drink? I'd be delighted, Maya said. Thomas smiled and walked toward the stage. Maya watched him go, her stomach twisting with guilt. He seemed like a good man. But Vincent said he was a thief. Someone had to be lying. The auction began. Items were sold for ridiculous amounts of money. The Monet painting went for $500,000. The vintage violin sold for $200,000. Thomas gave his speech, talking about helping underprivileged children, supporting education, building a better future. Everyone applauded. He found Maya after his speech, and they moved to a quieter corner with their drinks. So, Maya Sinclair, Thomas said, tell me more about yourself. What does your uncle invest in? Maya recited the story Lucia had prepared. Technology mostly. Green energy. He believes in investing in the future. Smart man, Thomas agreed. I wish more investors thought that way. Too many people only care about quick profits. He paused, studying her. You seem different from most young people I meet at these events. More genuine. Guilt stabbed through Maya's chest. Thank you. Can I be honest with you? Thomas asked quietly. Of course. These charity events, they're wonderful, but they're also performances. Everyone here is playing a role, pretending to care about causes while really just networking and showing off their wealth. He smiled sadly. Sometimes I get tired of pretending. Then why do you do it? Maya asked, because despite all the performance, real good still happens. Children still get scholarships. Hospitals still get funding. Art still gets preserved. Thomas looked at his drink. I suppose I've learned that good deeds done for imperfect reasons still count as good deeds. Maya thought about that, about herself, pretending to be someone else, lying to this kind man. Was she doing a good deed, saving her sister, or just adding more lies to a world already full of them? Mr. Blackwell, Maya started. Please call me Thomas. Thomas, can I ask you something personal? Of course. Maya took a breath. This was risky, but she had to know. Have you ever done something wrong for the right reasons? Thomas's expression grew serious. Yes, many times. He was quiet for a moment. There's a man in this city, very powerful, very dangerous. He's been extorting money from local businesses, including some of mine. I could go to the police, but they're too afraid of him to act. Maya's pulse quickened. What did you do? I started redirecting some of his shipments, taking back what he stole from me and others, using that money to actually help people, the charities, the scholarships, all of it. Thomas looked directly at her. Does that make me a thief? Probably. Does it make me wrong? I'm honestly not sure. Maya felt the world tilt. Vincent had called Thomas a thief, but Thomas was stealing from Vincent, taking back what Vincent had stolen first. Who was the real criminal here? Why are you telling me this? Maya whispered. Thomas smiled sadly. Because I'm old enough to recognize a kindred spirit when I see one. You're here pretending to be someone you're not, just like everyone else. But unlike them, I think you're doing it for someone you love. Maya's eyes widened. How? You keep checking your phone when you think no one's looking. You have the posture and manners of someone well-trained, but your eyes are scared. And when I mentioned doing wrong things for right reasons, you look like I'd read your mind. Thomas leaned closer. So let me ask you, who are you really, Maya Sinclair? And who are you trying to protect? Tears stung Maya's eyes. She'd been so careful, so perfect. But Thomas had seen through her anyway. She could lie, should lie, but she was so tired of lying. My real name is Maya Rodriguez, she said quietly, and I'm trying to save my sister from being killed. Thomas didn't look shocked. He just nodded slowly. By the dangerous man I mentioned? Yes, Vincent Moretti. Thomas's jaw tightened. And he sent you here to spy on me. I'm sorry, Maya whispered. He said if I helped him, I thought maybe I could find leverage. Something to save Rosa. Rosa. Your sister's name is Rosa Rodriguez. Maya nodded, confused by his tone. Thomas pulled out his phone, typed something, and showed her the screen. It was a news article from 2 years ago. Local woman testifies against Moretti organization. And there was a photo of a younger Rosa, her face partially hidden, being escorted into a courthouse. Your sister testified against Vincent? Maya gasped. She was dating one of his men, Thomas explained. She saw things, murders, extortion, trafficking. When the man was arrested, she agreed to testify, but the case fell apart. Witnesses disappeared. Evidence vanished. And your sister went into hiding. Maya felt sick. She never told me any of this. She was protecting you, Thomas said gently. The less you knew, the safer you were. But now Vincent knows about her. He has a kill order for tonight. Yes, I know. Thomas checked his watch, which is why we need to leave. Right now. What? Why? Thomas stood up and offered his hand. Because Vincent's men are about to raid this auction looking for you. He's realized you've been gone too long. And when he finds out you've been talking to me, he'll know you betrayed him. As if on cue, the main doors burst open. Vincent Moretti strode in with 6 armed men. The crowd gasped and scattered. Someone screamed. Vincent's eyes swept the room and landed on Maya. His expression was pure fury. There you are, Vincent said, his voice deadly calm. And there's Thomas Blackwell. How convenient. Thomas stepped in front of Maya. Let her go, Vincent. This is between you and me. Oh, I don't think so. Vincent walked closer, his men fanning out around them. See, I did some research on my new employee, and I discovered something very interesting. Maya Rodriguez, sister of Rosa Rodriguez, the woman who tried to destroy my family. Maya's blood turned to ice. He knew. He'd known all along. You thought you were so clever, Vincent continued, stealing my kill order, pretending to be some love-struck girl, working for me while secretly protecting your traitor sister. He smiled coldly. But I've been 3 steps ahead this entire time. Then why the game? Thomas demanded. Why not just kill them both? Because I want to see how far she'd go, what she'd do, who she'd betray. Vincent looked at Maya. And now I have my answer. You betrayed me for Thomas, which means you're worth nothing to me anymore. He nodded to his men. They raised their guns. Thomas shoved Maya behind him. Run. Everything happened at once. Thomas pulled something from his jacket, a small remote. He pressed it. Every light in the Metropolitan Club went out. Gunshots exploded in the darkness. People screamed. Glass shattered. Someone grabbed Maya's hand and pulled her through the chaos. Not Thomas, someone else. They ran through the dark, stumbling over people, dodging bullets. They burst through a side door into an alley. Maya looked up to see who had saved her. It was Rosa. What? How? Maya stammered. No time. Rosa pulled her down the alley toward a waiting car. Thomas called me. He had a plan. Get in. They dove into the car. The driver, one of Thomas's men, floored the gas pedal. Behind them, Vincent and his men poured out a club, shooting at the car. Bullets pinged off the metal, but they were already speeding away into the night. The safe house was a small apartment across the city. Thomas was already there, nursing a bullet graze on his arm. "You're alive!" Maya gasped with relief. "Barely," Thomas said, wincing as someone bandaged his wound. "But we made it. That's what matters." Rosa hugged Maya tightly. "I'm so sorry I never told you the truth. About Vincent. About everything." "We can talk about that later," Maya said. "Right now we need a plan. Vincent knows about both of us. He won't stop until we stop him first," Thomas interrupted. He pulled out a flash drive. "While you were keeping Vincent distracted at the auction, my people broke into his warehouse and copied all his files. Bank records, kill orders, every crime he's committed for the past 5 years." Maya stared at the tiny drive. That's enough to put him away forever." "More than enough," Thomas agreed. "Tomorrow morning, this goes to the FBI, not the local police. They're too corrupt, federal agents who can't be bought. Vincent will run," Rosa said, "the moment he hears the FBI is coming." "Let him run," Thomas said. "As long as he's out of this city, away from you both, that's good enough for me." Maya sank into a chair, suddenly exhausted. Everything she'd been through, the kiss, the lies, the transformation, the betrayal, it was finally over. "What happens to us now?" Maya asked quietly. Thomas smiled. "New identities, new city, new lives. I have resources. I can help you disappear properly this time." Rosa sat beside Maya and took her hand. "I know it's not perfect, but we'll be together. We'll be safe." Maya thought about her bakery, her tiny apartment, her simple life. All of it was gone now, but Rosa was alive, and that was all that mattered. "Okay," Maya said, "let's disappear." 1 month later, Maya stood in a kitchen that wasn't hers, in a city she barely knew, making bread. Some things never changed. She and Rosa lived in a quiet town 3 states away. New names, new jobs, new everything. Thomas had been true to his word. The FBI arrested dozens of Vincent's men. Vincent himself had vanished, probably to another country where he could start over. The kill order was gone. The danger was over. Maya pulled the fresh bread from the oven, smiling at the familiar smell. Rosa walked into the kitchen, dressed for her new job at a bookstore. "Smells amazing as always." "Old habits," Maya said. "Good habits," Rosa corrected. She hugged her sister. "Thank you for everything you did, for risking your life to save me." "That's what sisters do," Maya said simply. And in that small kitchen, in that quiet town, far from mafia bosses and kill orders and dangerous lies, the Rodriguez sisters finally found peace. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is kiss a monster to save the person you love. And sometimes, just sometimes, you survive to tell the tale. The end. Subscribe to this channel to support our growth. Drop a comment and let us know what you thought of Maya and Rosa's story. What would you have done in Maya's situation? We'd love to hear from you.